It's been 10 years since Ableton launched their hardware controller for live. Today, Push 3 is released, and it's much, much more than just a controller. In our exclusive Sound on Sound preview video, Ableton's Simon Lyon takes us under the hood with Push 3.
Hi, Simon here, and I'm going to take you through a quick look at the new Ableton Push. So as you can see, straight away there are a few things that look similar, and there are a few changes as well. So first thing you will notice is this Jog-wheel. You're going to use this for browsing, loading sets, and renaming. So let's load a set. You can load a set from here. And I'm going to go over here, and you can see this one I've actually marked in favorites as well. So press this. This is going to load on live, and I'm connected via USB-C at the top here. So this Jog-wheel, you can rename tracks. You can, if I just try this here, press Shift, click on the track, and you can rename. So the Jog-wheel moves really quickly, and it feels really smooth as well. All the usual things here like delete, and you can go back through it, that kind of thing. So you can rename actual tracks, you can rename the sets, and it's a really great thing to do. And also, you can now browse through session view. So here you can see the session view, and this is note mode, and this is session mode. So this enables you to play sounds and then launch clips at the same time. This can come in really handy, especially if you're doing sort of live performance. One thing you may notice here that we now have a designated capture button. So if I was to play something here now, straight away I can capture it. And you can see we've got clip button. So you can see there, I might want to quantize that. And you now have more editing features for the clip. So you can see the usual loop and crop. You can move this. We've also got this edit button. You can either press edit or just touch the jog wheel. I'll press edit just to show you. So now if you watch the jog wheel, as I move it, it will cycle through the notes one by one. If it's a chord, it will go through the notes of the chord and it'll go vertically. But you can see now that I'm selecting a note. I can then change the pitch of the note, the velocity, and you can even change the probability of the note. If I press this, you can press select all. So if you wanted to change the velocity of everything, you can just do that with one encoder. Really useful, and kind of allows you to do it all within the unit rather than going over to the computer. You may also notice there are 2 buttons here instead of 3. This one you'll recognize as the hot swap button, or just simply swap. So whichever sound you've got selected, you press swap, and this will take you into that bank of sounds. Again, using the wonderful jog wheel to select the sound. I'll keep the one I've got anyway. Now we have an add button. So now you can add a device, MIDI, audio, or return track. I'll just go back here anyway. You may also notice that I'm connected to an audio interface. Push now has a built-in audio interface. If I go into my settings here now and select audio, you can change the sample rate. You can select 3 different preamp types where you can connect acoustic instruments, synthesizers, all can go in the back. You've got 2 mono inputs that can be linked together to form one stereo input. You've also got a headphone out here where you can either duplicate the output of the main speakers, or you can set up a click track, or you can monitor different outputs from there. So we now have an ADAT in and out, an optical in and out on the back. With the third-party ADAT extender, you can have up to 10 inputs and 12 outputs. So Push connects to the computer using a USB-C, and you can also connect other devices using the USB-A here. Currently, it's connected to the computer, and you can see what's available to me on the computer. Also on the back are 2 pedal outputs, 1 and 2. These outputs by default are trigger and sustain, but they also double up as CV outs. You can change these using an adapter. You can have up to 4 CV outs to control modular equipment. Okay, so let's have a look at these pads. I've loaded some sounds up here that kind of show different ways in which the pads work with MPE. And the first one I'll try is a dulcimer. Once you play this, you can move it to the left and the right, and it will slide the pitch as you move across. I'm using scale, and I've set it in key to D minor, so I basically can't play a note out of tune, but you can move the tuning within the pad. Let me show you. So I can play one note, and within the pad, you can bend the note. And you can also slide into other notes. So we'll play this with some kind of chords. So let's try another sound. So this next sound, you can move up and down and modulate the sound. I'll just try a few individual notes and chords. This flute sound. And this one, you can slide a whole chord shape. The great thing about this is you can pick one chord shape and slide it because of the way that the push transposes the notes. And you can add all the different notes and they'll all be in key. This one, when you press one note, this has got like an arpeggiated sound. I can gate that a little bit. And when I hold a chord down, I can slide any individual note and it will change the pitch and keeping the others the same. So you can experiment with all different kinds of ideas, but the idea is it'll all be in key, unless you don't want it to be. And you can also slide notes and do things with your fingers where you would normally try and do something up here and sort of get more expression. So do try that, it's really, really great. One thing just to show you about the pads themselves, I'll do it on the dulcimer. If I go into settings, you can go into the expression, and currently it's set to fingers. So when I land on a pad, no matter where I land, it will be in tune. And then when I slide it, I come back to the middle and that's where it's going to be in tune. Now, it's called in tune location. If I change this to pad, this is more like when you have like a fretless instrument. If I play to the left, it's going to be out of tune. In the middle is in tune. So that's harder to play. But it depends what kind of music you're playing. So that requires some practice, but you can change the width of what being in tune is, and you can get used to that. Personally, I'm finding this a little bit easier because it stays a bit more in tune, but you can still bend notes. So you can adjust that to any sensitivity you want. Let's have a look at some of the drums. Now, these are what I currently have at the moment. These are more of a subtle kind of more human drums. If I play like a hi-hat, for example, if I play in the corner of the pad, you've got a sort of closed hi-hat. And if I play more diagonally to the top, so you can get some really dynamic kind of ways of playing drums. There will be more extreme sounds, particularly electronic sounds, but just think of the pad can have up to 128 different drums, if you like, when you slide it. So there's going to be some great kits available. in order to transfer sets from live to push and vice versa, you just need to go to the new push icon. And once you click on here, it will scan for any push that are on the same network as you. So this is the one that I'm using. I press connect, and then you should see this dialog, and it needs the code from your push. So we go over to the push and see, here's the code. I need 817579. This will then connect, and you can see all of the projects available on your push and anything in your user library. You can transfer presets and entire sets just by dragging and dropping over onto the push icon itself, or just into the files here. You can move things around, delete, rename, just like you would with any other file type in Live. So everything that I've shown you up until this point has been connected just the same way as previous push did to the computer. Obviously this one is USB-C, but you can unplug this because this push is what we're calling push standalone. I can even unplug the power as it works on a battery. So if I go to settings here, go to status, and you can see push is working in standalone. So the battery, as you can see, is on 100%. This will give you around 2.5 hours, depending on what you're playing. If you're using lots of instruments like wavetable, it may drain the power. If you're using just audio clips, you may get even longer. But that's just a rough guide. The hard drive has 256 gig, fitted as standard, and you can see how much I've got left. So quite a lot of time to put my packs on here, which is the next thing you can do. You can actually load your packs. You've already seen saving and loading. All of the things I've shown you so far all work standalone on the unit. So if I go over here now, you can see we've got Wi-Fi. You've also can update your software, and it actually comes with Live Intro installed. And if you're a current suite owner, you just go to authorize, and once the Wi-Fi is connected, you'll then be able to connect via the Wi-Fi connection and update your account and authorize your Live Suite account. And you can also update your software as well. So another feature of the standalone, we've got MIDI ports around the back, and you can actually plug in a keyboard. So I've got this keyboard here. I can just plug it in and the USB here, and then select MIDI, and you should see there it is. The X key MIDI comes up, and then not MPE though, but this is. So it shows up there. You can add a keyboard. You can actually add up to 6 class compliant devices using a USB hub. Just put it in the back there. And simple to plug it in, you can just take it out again. So you can connect another MPE instrument. You just need to select this. Just like you would on Live's preferences, you can set your input and output. So as long as it's a class compliant device, you can connect a MIDI keyboard straight into here. So we now have session view in the window here, and the jog wheel, you can scroll up and down. And also if I hold on to the jog wheel, you can see any titles that appear in the scenes. They just show up when you touch the jog wheel, which saves some space on the screen. So I can scroll up and down and launch scenes. And you can also change the track focus by using the jog wheel left and right. So that's really handy and quick. This jog wheel really does do its job. Also, one other thing, like in this example, I can use note mode for an instrument whilst triggering something. Which enables you to actually perform and move through your session. You can see what's happening. Most of the buttons now are momentary. So if you just want to quickly check into session view, you can just press it and let go. Have a quick check and do that. So if you wanted to have a repeat on a note, for example, all you could do is you hold the note, quickly hold repeat, get your repeat, and just let go. So you can quickly find your way around and everything just works intuitively.
You'll be able to read our full exclusive review of Push 3 in Sound on Sound July 2023. In the meantime, we'll leave Simon to play us out.